Lordship, we would like to mention item number 14 and 15. We'd like to withdraw both the petitions. So the parties have arrived into some settlement.
Your name, please.
Anupam Saikia.
You take down, Mr. Anupam Saikia, learned counsel appearing for the writ petitioner. In both these writ petitions, submits that during the pendency of these proceedings, the parties have arrived at an amicable settlement in the matter. Full stop. As such, he has instructions not to press these writ petitions. The submission of the petitioner's counsel has not been opposed by learned counsel appearing for the respondents in this case.
Item 41, I am for S1 number 1 to 3, my lord, and 15 he is.
Has not been opposed by Mr. S. Borthakur and Mr.
Kamar Islam.
Kamar Islam, learned counsel appearing for the respective respondents in both these writ petitions. In view of the above, these writ petitions stand disposed of as not pressed. Any interim order?
Yes, my lord.
Yes, interim order.
Interim order passed earlier shall stand vacated. And in view of the order passed in so and so, IS stands disposed of.
Hello.
May I please, your lordship, I beg to mention for listing two matters. One is a removal of Gao Pansayat president, another is a ward member. So matter may be come up admission on 9th of August.
9th of August, we can't say, it can come on 16th of August.
May I please, Lordship? Lordship, I beg to mention item number 3 on behalf of Mr. S. Samaria, Lordship. With the consent of other side, Lordship.
As paid for by learned counsel for the petitioner, this matter stands adjourned for the day.
Yes.
May it please, your lordship. Your lordship, may I beg to mention item number 2 with the consent of the other side, your lordship.
As paid for by petitioner's counsel, this matter stands passed over for the day.
Lordship, may I request a listing for the writ petition today, your lordships, on a motion stage, because under the Surface Act, they are going ahead and attaching my property today. I had mentioned yesterday this matter was listed, your lordship. So remember, they withdrew the writ petition. I couldn't be heard yesterday. Today, they are going ahead with my disposition of my property. It's an individual property of mine. I am not even a director nor a guarantor. Now my property has become a subject matter of dispute in this.
But if you can bring it before rising of the court.
Yes, I will make an effort on that. I'll make an effort.
Otherwise, you have to mention in some other court.
Grateful. I'll make an effort. Extremely grateful.
My lord, item 6, pass over for the day, my lord.
As paid for by petitioner's counsel, this matter stands passed over for the day.
And my lord, I have one urgent matter, maybe permitted to move on Monday, my lord.
Huh?
Monday.
Urgent matter is which matter?
As in that I will want to move an urgent matter, my lord.
No, where is your mention memo?
That's why is there, my lord.
Give it. No, otherwise you make a mention that day.
Yes.
May it please, lordship, I'm praying for listing of the writ petition of motion on Wednesday, my lord. I have filed it, my lord. If lordship allows on Wednesday, my lord.
Yes.
May I please, your lordship? I beg to mention item number 21, your lordship. Item,
Item number 21.
yes, lordship.
What do you want?
My lord, can it be after 2 weeks, your lordship?
Lordship, in item number 22, I am appearing, Lordship. My friend's subject matter is different, mine is different. How will it impact? So may I?
Then let it come up, then we'll see. He has opposition, let's see.
My lord. Obliged.
Hey, Lordship, Lordship, we're withdrawing item number 4, Lordship, on instruction of our client.
Okay, what is your name, please?
NZ Chaudhary.
Mr. NZ Chaudhary, learned counsel appearing for the writ petitioner submits that he has instructions from his client to withdraw this writ petition. Since the prayer is not opposed, same stands alone. This writ petition stands disposed of on withdrawal.
Obliged.
Miss,
The secondary department.
you are Miss
H. Teran.
H. Taranti, learned standing counsel, secondary education department, Assam is present.
May it please, your lordship, I pray for listing of a matter for motion on Monday, if possible.
What is the matter?
Matter, his building is sought to be demolished without giving any notice. That is.
You have to go to the bench, civil bench 4 perhaps. Have you checked up the classification?
Yes, I checked up.
Civil bench 4 and 5 has been now segregated.
Yes, I checked up and registry said it will be bench 5 matter.
All right, but please make sure, otherwise I will not take up the matter.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
Obliged, lordship.
Daily list for motion, item 1.
Yes, Mr.
May it
Manu.
please, your lordship.
Yes.
This matter is, your lordship, basically land acquisition matter. The land was acquired and by of the petitioner's, your lordship, mother-in-law, basically, but she died during the process, your lordship. So the only thing here was the case is that we have a pond in that particular land. We wanted that somehow if we can save the pond because we are having our income from that pond. So that was applications were made, it was forwarded and it was considered, but I know thereafter nothing has happened. This is basically the case.
May please tell us, first if the report of the circle officer is awaited in this case to see whether the bridge has been covered or constructed about a private land or not. That part was it. The report is awaited in this case, Lordship. Sometimes.
In fact,
But
your lordship,
is it not a matter to be dealt with by the district judge?
because nothing, just we made an application.
No, that's not the point. Point is, what does the law say?
The acquisition part, your lordship, we are not agreed with basically. Only
Achha,
thing-
I'll issue notice, but Mr. Manan, please check up, otherwise you will be wasting time.
I'll check that out.
If there is a statutory provision,
Mhm.
that provision has to be invoked.
But in fact, they have taken a stand, let that be, because they have already
All
taken
right.
a stand that.
I had Mr. Y.S. Manan and counsel appearing for the writ petitioner. The issue raised in this writ petition pertains to objection raised by the petitioner with regard to acquisition of a pond, which is reportedly the source of earning livelihood of the petitioners. First up, Mr. Manan submits that his client is not opposing the acquisition of the land, but merely seeks exclusion of the pond from the purview of the land acquisition. First up, Mr. CKS Borua, learned learned government advocate Assam submits that instructions as called for are still awaited. In view of the above NOM 4 weeks, since Ms. G. Hazarika, learned standing counsel, Revenue and Disaster Management Department Assam has appeared and accepted notice for respond number 1 of Mr. CKS Borua for respond numbers 2 to 4. Why not
Or I think PW. no?
PW
2 and 3? No formal notice is required to be sent on the said respondents. Extra copies of the writ petition be furnished to the learned departmental counsel. Petitioner to also serve a copy of the writ petition along with written up notice upon learned standing counsel PWD Assam on behalf of respond number 4. Consequently, this matter would be deemed to be ready as regards service. Let this matter writ petition be listed again on 7th of September 2023 as a fixed item
lordship,
by
lordship, can it be sometime on 11th or
11th of
12th?
11th of September 2023 as a fixed item. The learned departmental counsel to obtain instruction facilitating disposal of the writ petition on the next day.
The name PWD may be shown that.
List this case again by reflecting the name of learned standing counsel appearing for all the respondents.
Awesome, Lordship.
Much of this.
Item 5.
May it please your lordship, the petitioner GST registration has been cancelled. Admittedly, the petitioner has failed to pay the file the return. Your lordship will come to annexure 2. Your lordship proposed notice issued on 37 2021, whereby I was served with a show cause notice and my
Yes,
GST.
Mr. Kyle, you have any instruction?
No, Lordship, I have obtained instruction. Here the grievance of the petitioner is that the tax calculated at the higher rate. Lordship may remand the matter to respondent number 6. They file a representation. We'll consider it and thereafter he will pay and his registration will be restored.
Where is the interim order?
Lordship, he is challenged the notice, Lordship.
Uh,
1910 annexure 4 page 23. Hereby tax has been calculated at the rate of 28%. His grievance is that there should be below 28. And in the meantime, he failed to file return for 6 months, so his registration was cancelled. There is a scheme is going on, Lordship. He can avail the benefit under that scheme also.
Your lordship, that is why I made representation as well as I deposited some amount, praying that I may be allowed to furnish the return in installments and
Where is your representation?
your lordship, it starts from annexure 6, your lordship. Annexure 6, that is 1412, page 26, 141222, your lordship, that I am engaged in the business of government contract, so I am liable to pay GST 12%, that is GST at the rate of 6% and SGST at the rate of 6%. But as per the notice given in the form, so and so, I have been charged with the liability of at the rate of 28%. Thereby, it's a request from your department to kindly revise the tax liability. The new tax liability as per 12% tax rate is calculated to be 35,75,676. That I also paid the sum of rupees 3,60,000 only to the GST department, right, so and so, and the remaining amount shall be paid by me within the periodical intervals without any failure. The reasons for periodical payment is because I am undergoing from medical emergency from past 2 years, and I am not able to pay the entire tax liability on the real time or at one go. Thereafter, again, Your Lordship, I made a payment, and subsequently, Your Lordship will find Annexure 7, Your Lordship. This again, I made a representation paying similar prayer, Your Lordship, 19/1/2023. Here also I paid rupees on 14/1/2023. I made a payment of 3,60,000, and again I made a representation saying that I may be allowed to pay in installment, and in the meantime my registration may be my cancellation order may be revoked, Your Lordship. Again, I made a subsequently again on 14/2, I made a representation, Annexure 8, again, Your Lordship will find it page 34. There again, I prayed that I may be allowed to pay in installment, and in the meantime, my cancellation may be revoked. And subsequently, again, I made a payment on 19, Your Lordship may see Annexure 36, where I made a payment on paid a payment of rupees 3,60,000, Your Lordship. So in fact, Your Lordship will find a judgment of a coordinate bench of this court, Your Lordship, whereby they were allowed to pay in installment, giving some conditions, Your Lordship. In Annexure or
So let him approach the authorities
Yes,
to
Lordship.
consider.
Respondent number 6, they will revisit that tax calculated loads. And thereafter.
And also consider his application for registration of the his
Lordship,
restoration.
the scheme is going continuing, Lordship, that is extended to 31st of August. He
But
can
the
take
scheme-
benefit.
But the scheme says that I have to pay in entire go, Your Lordship, which will not be possible. I am not running away. Only thing is that I may be
Let
allowed.
him make representation to the assistant commissioner.
That
He
may
will
be considered, Your Lordship, since the commissioner has the power to give.
But unless the interpayment is made.
They are complaining that the authorities are becoming ruthless. We understand the urgency and the.
No, Lordship, regarding
Significance.
restoration, there is a scheme is continuing, Lordship.
But he says he has to pay the entire amount.
Lordship, under section rule 32, it is precondition that for restoration, he has to clear.
But
the-
if his GST registration is not restored, how will he pay the balance amount?
No, that will be, that can be deposited, Lordship. Because his residence was cancelled because he failed to deposit his filed 6 return, Lordship, consequently. That's why his residence was cancelled.
You are appearing?
It's for state, Lordship.
You have something to do here? No. Formal party. All right, you take down. Heard Mr. B. Kushilal, Learned Counsel appearing for the writ petitioner. Also heard Mr. S. C. Kyle, Learned Standing Counsel, GST authorities appearing on behalf of the respondent numbers
1 to
1
6.
to 6. Mr. B. Chaudhary, Learned Standing Counsel, Tax Department, Assam, has appeared on behalf of the respondent numbers 7 and 8. First up, the writ petitioner herein claims to be a government contractor. He was holding a GST registration for the purpose of carrying out his professional work. First up. However, the petitioner has approached this. No, however, the GST registration of the petitioner has been cancelled by order dated
Annexure 3, Lordship, page 22.
10th August 2021.
10/8/2021 due to failure on the part of the petitioner to file 6 consecutive returns. First up, the petitioner is also aggrieved demand notice dated 19/10/2021 issued by the authorities demanding payment of rupees 1,00,11,892 1,11,892.
19/10/2022, Your Lordship.
You have written 21. What to do? Why have you written 21 in your? Huh?
Sorry, Your Lordship.
You will make mistakes and then 19/10/2022, demanding so and so as GST, calculating the rate at 28%. Full stop. Mr. Pushilal submits that the petitioner could not submit his returns due to a serious health problem faced by him during the relevant point of time. First up, according to the petitioner, he had suffered a cardiac arrest just before the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, and thereafter his activities were severely restricted. First up, the learned counsel for the petitioners further submits that as per the laid down norms, the petitioner is liable to pay GST only at the rate of 12% and not at the rate of 28% as has been demanded by the authorities. First up, assuring this court that the petitioner is ready and willing to pay the due, the amount of GST due and payable by him under the law in installments if such an opportunity is granted to him. Mr. Pushilal prays for a direction upon the respondents to consider his representations dated 14/12/2022 bracket annexure 6 and 19/1/2023 bracket annexure 7 submitted by the petitioner.
And your lordship 14/2/2023.
Yes. Mr. Pushilal has further submitted that the petitioner has been paying paying the GST component on installment basis, and till today he has already paid more than rupees 10 lakhs, 10,80,000. Full stop. Responding to the above submissions, Mr. Kyle submits that there is a scheme in operation which permits restoration of GST registration, and the prayer for deposit of installation GST in installment is a matter that is required to be considered by the competent authority. Full stop. Therefore, he would have no objection if the writ petition is disposed of by directing the respondents to revisit the notice dated 19/10/2022 insofar as the rate of GST levied on the petitioner is concerned, and pass appropriate order on the prayer for restoration of the GST registration as well as for installment payment of the amount due by the petitioner. Most of similar is the stand of Mr. B. Chaudhary, Land Standing Council, Tax Department, Assam. In view of the submission made at the bar and considering the controversy involved in this writ petition, I dispose of the matter with a direction upon the respond numbers
6 laws.
Respond number 6 to consider the grievance of the petitioner as projected in the representations dated so and so and so and so, and pass appropriate order after giving him an opportunity of personal hearing. The aforesaid exercise be carried out and completed within a period of 3 months from the date of receipt of a.
What's the 1 month?
I know he'll do it in 1 week, but actually
Not-
that is not required. It is made clear that until such time a reasoned order is passed by the respond number 6 based on the direction issued by this court, no coercive action shall be initiated against the petitioner. Writ petition stands disposed of.
Online.
And this is regarding penalty notice, that page 39. Actually, groundwater guideline is there. And the hospital authority was not unaware of this guideline. So that penalty was imposed. And Lord, he is ready to pay the amount on installment basis, and penalty may be waived. And Lordship kindly see the page 39, last part. Failure to deposit said groundwater extraction and restoration charges within 15 days will lead rejection of application NOC and further groundwater without treated as unauthorized, you shall be liable to environment compensation as per. After filing of this case, They have rejected, my lord, on 2nd August, but it is not 15. Before 15 days, it has been rejected. Application duly, he has filed the application. All formalities, license, other has with the
What is the
Hospital.
groundwater obstruction?
Lordship, basically, the SOCOS notice of the Water Resource Department,
Hmm.
my friend and is Water Resource Department standing also has to be here, Lordship,
no, city central groundwater board.
and he's here.
Who has issued this order?
The show cause has been issued by the Ministry of Jal Shakti, Your Lordship. It's perhaps it's under the regional director. It will be Government of India, Your Lordship.
How Government of India is issuing these directives to?
Because as per
These are
the,
state subjects. Groundwater is a state subject.
No, it is central government.
but Lordship, Lordship, if come to the
Groundwater
show
land
cause-
is a central government subject.
Central government.
Lordship, if come to the show cause, Your Lordship, there is a notification, Lordship, of Government of India, Lordship. The show cause, Lordship, it has been stated that permission has to be taken from an authority, and an authority has been created by this notification, Your Lordship.
What is the authority?
Authority. Lordship, may I read the show cause, Your Lordship? Here it reveals, Your Lordship. Whereas the central government considered the Central Groundwater Authority, Lordship. Wide notification of the Government of India in the Ministry of Environment and Forest number so and so. 14 January 1997, followed by notification number.
You
so
are
and
reading
so.
from which page?
Lordship, page 29, Lordship. Sorry, Lordship.
Say that.
Show cause. Very sorry, Lordship. Page 29.
Hmm.
Whereas the central government constituted the Central Groundwater Authority by notification of the Government of India in the Ministry of Environment and Forest number so and so and 14 January 1997, followed by notification number and so 16 November 2000 and so and so and thereafter 2010 for the purpose of regulation and control of groundwater development and management in the whole of India and to issue necessary
So
regulatory
this is
directions.
environment compensation.
Yes, Lordship. Falls under the Environment Protection Act, Your Lordship. And whereas the authority has issued guidelines to control so and so, Lordship. After it has been.
So he wants to pay in installment.
Yes, we have to pay in installment.
Huh?
Lordship, I have to take direction from the authorities, Lordship, but in any case, whatever Lordship may feel convenient, Lordship. There is hard and fast rule is there, Lord. But his further prayer is to Lordship to exonerate the penalty also, Lordship. So regarding that, Lordship, I have to come today, take instruction, Lordship, whether it's a statutory penalty or it's a directory. Lordship.
So you find out Wednesday, we'll take it up, Wednesday.
Lordship.
Intimate no coercive action.
So what coercive action?
Lordship,
My lord, within 15 days, they have rejected my application after filing this case. Before 15 days, they have rejected mine.
All right, heard Mr.
Yeah.
A. Ahmed, Learned Counsel appearing for the writ petitioner. Peruse the averments made in the writ petition. The petitioner is aggrieved by the order dated 25/7/2023, by means of which penalty of rupees 1 lakh has been imposed upon it. Besides demanding payment of
5 lakhs,
cha-
4 lakhs.
charge, besides demanding a further amount of rupees 4,44,144 as no, it's like 4,44,240 as environment compensation for obstruction of groundwater. First up, Mr. Ahmed submits that his client is ready and willing to pay
Yes.
the amount of environment compensation in installment if permitted, but makes a prayer to set aside the amount of compensation,
Penalty.
penalty, Lordship.
amount of penalty of rupees 1 lakh levied on the petitioner. Mr. DJ Das Lanet CGC appearing on behalf of the respond numbers
1 and 2, Your Lordship.
1 and 2 prays for time till next Friday, give the date. Time till, is it what, 11th of August,
Lordship.
to
That
obtain
will be
instruction,
Friday.
obtain preliminary instruction in response to the prayer made in the writ petition. In view of the above, let this writ petition be listed again on 11th of August 2023 for motion as a fixed item. 2 extra copies of the writ petition be furnished to Mr. Das, Lanet CGC. so as to enable him to obtain instruction. Considering the apprehension raised by the petitioner, it is provided that no coercive action shall be initiated against the writ petitioner till the returnable date.
Much obvious.
Agreed.
May I please, Your Lordship? The license, trade license is issued by the Bokakhat Municipality Corporation under the Assam Municipality Act, as Your Lordship sees at page 13. This is the renewal of that permit. Now, there are some allegations, and at page 15, Milord, the subdivisional magistrate Bokakhat authorizes the executive magistrate Bokakhat and directs sealing of the shop on certain allegations for issuing fake non-increment certificate. That is the authorization on 28/7/23 at page 15 by the SDSM. And now at page 14 is the impugned order. They come and seal the shop. Small shop with a computer printing facility. This is for information of the shop owner and general public that this shop has been sealed in presence of the executive magistrate Bokakhat and so-and-so on 29/7 as the owner of this shop, Devojit Hazarika, has been found to be issuing fake non-incumbent certificate. This shop shall remain closed until further order. And under the Municipal Act 230, it can be only suspended or cancelled by the authority who issued the license.
But he has been issuing fake certificates.
That's the allegation. He was taken there, forced to write also, but all that, let me assume. Is this authorized under the law? That's the question. So,
Lordship, let me get the instruction under what provision of the law this shop was being sealed. Because cancellation of a license, that's a different thing, Lordship. But sealing, under what that part.
cancellation, it is worse than cancellation. You have closed all the shop, not only
Because his
computer, but
license was not taken.
other goods are there, I cannot say. My livelihood is taken off.
So when can you get the instruction?
3 weeks.
Huh? 3 weeks. Then we'll have to pass an interim order.
This has to be.
Then 2 weeks.
Absolutely absurd.
Beyond Wednesday, there will be an interim order.
And the order is very clear, the authorization is clear. It's an executive order passed by the SDGM authorizing somebody who is also not competent, and the person who is authorized.
Wednesday, you tell us which, this sealing of shop has been done in exercise of power under which provision? If you can show us, we'll not interfere, otherwise we'll stay there.
There is no provision, Milord, under which they can do it.
Ask the officer who has done it. He or she will know it.
Entirely
Mr. Goswami, we'll have it on Wednesday.
Lordship, provide me time till 11th of August, Lordship. At least one time, 1 week time maybe.
Your lordship can do one thing. We are concerned with that non-increment certificate. Till then, he will not issue the non-increment certificate. Rest of it.
No. If idea is either his sealing of his shop has to be removed.
Yeah.
That is a positive mandamus.
Yes.
For that, we would like to give him a little time to tell us.
Your lordship, please.
But are you available on Wednesday
Yes, I will be available.
or Friday, as he says? Friday? Written instruction, and will not give you any more time for that.
I'll write it today itself.
Please inform in your letter that matter will be taken up on, and if no instruction is given indicating the provision of law under which this order.
Lordship, then I think that order will be, it has to accompany the.
No, we are informing you. See, you are sealing a shop.
Lordship.
which is a very drastic measure.
Lordship.
And you can't tell which provision of law you have.
Lordship, that's what I have
That
already.
means all right, heard Mr. P.K. Goswami, Learned Senior Counsel, assisted by Mr. B.P. Bora, and Counsel appearing for the writ petitioner. The petitioner is the owner of a shop situated in Bokaghat under Golaghat district, aggrieved by the order of cancellation of his
Sealing,
trade license as well as sealing of the shop.
not cancellation, sealing of the shop.
Sealing of the shop owned by the petitioner. The instant writ petition has been cancellation has been filed inter alia contending that the learned executive magistrate did not have the authority or jurisdiction under the law to issue such an order. Mr. Goswami submits that since the sealing of the shop is divorced the authority of law, the same be interfered with forthwith. First of on going through the materials on record, it is not apparent as to under what as to which provision of law has been invoked by the officer while sealing the shop of the petitioner. However, on the request of Mr. CKS Borua, Learned Government Advocate Assam, this matter is directed to be posted again on 11th of August 2023 as a fixed item, so as to enable him to obtain written instruction indicating the nature of exercise of power in this case. It is made clear that if no instruction is made available on the next date fixed, this court will consider passing an interim order as per prayer made in the writ petition.
All right.
Yes, yes.
May it please your lordship. My lord, the petitioner is aggrieved because, my lord, his FIRs were not taken into account, my lord. No action has been taken, my lord, because there are specific allegations in the FIR, my lord. Thus you will file at page 37, my lord.
So we'll have it after 2 weeks.
I think Lordship, police will only act upon when there is an order by the civil court. Recovery of Khasbisa, if it is there.
No, but these are not cognizable offense.
My lord, there are allegations under 506 also, certain allegations of criminal intimidation, etc. That, my lord, at least, my lord, the FIR should be received and registered, my lord. That is my prayer.
No, that will depend on
Yes,
whether
yes.
there are ingredients of a cognizable offense.
My lord, there are elements of 506.
Where is
Please,
it?
my
Show
lord.
me.
Yes.
Which page?
Yes, ma'am. 37, my lord.
Page 37.
With reference to the above, we inform that above accused Mr. Grisandes, my lord, grabbed our said land, not allowing our staff worker to enter our land, abusing with filthy and foul languages and threatening.
How these are, anyway, just 2 weeks, you just obtain some.
Yes.
Heard Mr. T.H. Hajarika, Learned Counsel for the writ petitioner. The petitioner is aggrieved due to inaction on the part of the police in registering the FIRs, public complaints lodged by the petitioner, alleging illegal trespass
Yes.
over land
And
belonging to
criminal
the writ
intimidation.
petitioner. Mr. CKS Borua, Learned Government Advocate, submits that there is no ingredient of a cognizable offense in the FIR. However, he seeks 2 weeks' time to get the response of the concerned police station in the matter. In view of the above, this matter is directed to be listed again for motion after 2 weeks. 2 extra copies of the writ petition be furnished to Mr. CKS Borua, Learned G. Assam, so as to enable him to obtain instruction.
Obligement.
For admission, item 10.
May I please notice, my lord, against establishment of Big Green, my lord, Big Green Industry, my lord. In this case, my lord, the private respondent, Sri Subir Modak, my lord, he, as per the order issued by the PCB regarding consent to establish, my lord, he, my lord, set up Big Green Industry, my lord, over a plot of land which is agricultural land, my lord, surrounded by the agricultural land of the petitioner and other co-villagers. My lord, my
So what, he's running the big field now?
Yes, my lord, he obtained consent to establish, my lord. Against that, my lord, we preferred appeal before this honorable court. Then, my lord, thereafter, my lord, whimsically PCB again issued consent to operate, my lord. My lord, the land over which he set up his brick kiln industry, that is purely agricultural land, my lord, surrounded by the agricultural land of the other co-villagers. My lord, the Rajasthapur Part 1 village is, most of the villagers are.
So we'll ask the deputy commissioner to verify.
Lordship, there are two cases, this item number 10, item number 11, same person, same area, and lordship is same distinct.
Not same person.
Correct?
Wow.
No, this is Subir Modak. Against Subir Modak, I'm saying, Subir
Yes,
Modak.
against him, they are agree for, my lord.
And lordship, the deputy commissioner has filed this affidavit, where it has been, it may as read out, lordship. The deponent, this. Lordship, I can only see the affidavit that are filed in item number 11, lordship.
Yes.
The deponent begs to state that it is a fact, a plot of land measuring 8 bigha 5 kata 5 sort of, covered by dark number so and so, respectively of Moja Registry Part 1, Organa Halekandi in respect of brick clean under the title A1 brick industry is under the possession of Sri Subir Modak. As regards representation dated 29/18 filed by the petitioner, the matter has been inquired into through the circle officer and the assistant settlement officer, Lala, and it is revealed from the inquiry that the proprietor, Subir Modak, has obtained a certificate of consent of established from the Pollution Control Board and also obtained no non-agricultural certificate and distance certificate from the assistant settlement officer, Lala. And para 5 lordship, it is a fact that because the president of Sri Lakshmi Agricultural Service Group is stating that the respondent number 7, Sri Subir Modak, is destroying agricultural land by installing bricking industry, but the proprietor of the bricking, Subir Modak, submitted a certificate of consent of established issued by the Pollution Control Board, non-agricultural certificate and distance certificate issued by the assistant settlement officer, Lada, no objection certificate issued by the secretary, Purbo Kitterbon Rajeshwari GP, and written consent in support of the installation of bricking. And lordship may see para number 8. It is not a fact that the RTI petition dated 18/1/19 was not clear, and as such the petitioner was asked to appear before the office of for clarification by this office number dated 2/2/19, but the petitioner failed to appear, lordship. Moreover, during field visit, it was found that a non-functional PHE is there at a distance of approx 130 meters away from the LS Bricking, and also a school, Gopendra Dev ME School, is situated at a distance of 300 meters from the bricking. No pond or no temple is found in the distance certificate to the river Katakal is there about 700 meters away from the LS Bricking. So there are no such pond, there's no temple around where it's been operating. Lordship, he has obtained this certificate of consent, lordship. Then no objection certificate is also there in his present by the president of the Gaon Panchayat. So, and when we have asked him to appear, the complainant, he did not appear. And as such, the petitioner wants to appear before this court for clarification. File is sufficient enough data, but the petitioner failed to appear.
কোনখন মাতিছে আপুনি?
Almost item number 11 or affidavit of file কৰিছো, গম পাই নে নাই?
নাই নাই আমাক কপি দিয়া নাই।
Copy ৰ কাম file কোনে কৰিব?
নে কেনেকে জানিছে? আমাক কপি দিয়া নাই। Here my lord lordship will file annexer my lord A.
এইটো 11 নম্বৰ petition নহয়।
My lord annexer my lord A, which he said that he has obtained no objection certificate. Annexer A my lord in my WPC, page 25. Here my lord it is clearly written, assistant settlement officer, I will read it part. Certified that land measuring an area of 8 bigha covered by DAG number 517 and 218 of second RS photo number so and so Rajeshwapur part 1 Pargana Hailakandi, the district of Hailakandi is under possession of Subir Modak, son of so and so by right of purchase. My lord, second paragraph. My lord, page 25 annexure A, the above mentioned land in question is not presently being utilized for agricultural purpose. So reclassification of the same will be done as wash land, vita land, bari land, etc. in due course of third resettlement operation as per.
You are reading
procedure.
from which page?
My lord, page 25 annexure A of writ petition, of our writ petition.
Writ petition filed in which case?
My lord, in case number, my lord, 4917, item number 10.
কিন্তু আপুনি সেইটো petitioner নহয়।
সেইটো নহলে কি হ'ব? Annex আছে নে?
You are representing the petitioners in both the writ petition.
Yes, my lord.
No,
No, item number 11, he is presenting. Item number 10, I am representing.
so please tell me one thing. The bricklane is being operated over a land which is not used for agricultural purposes.
No, no, it is completely false. That's why I am coming annexure.
No,
A.
listen, false true, we are not going to go into this. Please listen to the query.
Yeah.
The petitioner, the respondent has obtained a consent to establish and then has a consent to operate, based on which the bricklane is being operated, right?
Yes.
Now, the district administration has filed affidavit, practically negating the complaint, saying that
My lord, district administration
Alright,
has
you
not
finish
issued non-agricultural certificate, my lord. It is absolutely false, my lord. So far annexure 8, page 32, my lord, in my writ petition, my lord, it is clearly stated, it is the RTI reply. All lands are found agricultural land as per second resettlement, Jamabandi of village, Rajeshwapur part 1. At present, third resettlement operation is going on Hailakandi district, so reclassification of the same will be done as wash land or / vita land in due course as per field status of third resettlement operation. My lord, that has not yet been completed and no non-agricultural land certificate has been issued from the district administration. And moreover, my lord, consent to establish, my lord, it is clearly stated that, my lord, annexure, my lord, K, here it, my lord, serial number 36, consent to establish, the industry shall not acquire any additional land adjacent to the unit or their industrial purpose, and no damage shall be caused to any nearby agricultural land. My lord, I have submitted photograph, my lord, all the lands, surrounding lands of the locality are agricultural land, my lord. In my affidavit, my lord, I have application, my lord, I have annexed, my lord. Lordship may kindly have a look, my lord, regarding, my lord, photograph. All the surrounding lands are agriculture. It is not my personal interest, my lord. It is the interest of a common people, my lord. As per Rajeshwapur part 1 village is known as agricultural aspiration village. Most of the villages are cultivators by professions. If the land in midst of the agricultural lands is allowed to manufacture big clean, the other nearby agricultural lands will be seriously affected, my lord. For that aspect of the matter, my lord, Deputy Commissioner may be directed to reassess the matter, my lord, along with PCB, my lord. My lord, PCB hurriedly issued consent to operate, my lord. In a recent, my lord, in a recent RTI reply, lordship will find, I have submitted, my lord. In a recent reply, my lord, RTI replied, my lord, that is, my lord, in my reply affidavit, annexure 4, page 68. Right, my lord, NOC to establish of vehicle is not issued by the circle office. Hence, copy is not available with this office till now. No, my lord, the district commissioner, the district administrator has not been issued, my lord, non-agricultural certificate, my lord. In order to issue non-agricultural certificate, my lord, this is my lord, act, my lord. The Assam Agricultural Land Regulation and Reclassification and Transfer for non-agricultural purpose, my lord. My lord, in section 3 and 4 may kindly be looked into, my lord. What section 3 and 4 speaks about? My lord, section 3.
So brick lane is operating.
Now it is off season, my
May I-
lord. It is
may
off
I,
season.
Lordship, in item 11, an affidavit was filed on. Lordship, in item 11, an affidavit was filed by the ADC, your Lordship, by the ADC of Hailakandi. There, your Lordship, annexure B regarding the non-agricultural certificate. This affidavit was filed on.
What are you doing? She has not yet finished. Let her finish her
Yes.
arguments.
Section 3, my lord. No person shall use or transfer agricultural land for intended non-agricultural purpose without reclassification and permission in the manner as mentioned herein below. No agricultural land shall be put for intended non-agricultural purpose without the prior permission of the deputy commissioner. The deputy commissioner shall be competent to accord permission only after reclassification of the said land, my lord. The reclassification has not. No agricultural land shall be transferred for intended non-agricultural purpose without the prior permission of the deputy commissioner. The deputy commissioner shall be competent to accord permission only after reclassification of the said land. Then, my lord, section 4, my lord. Such land which is recorded as agricultural land but has already become unfit for agricultural purpose, or where there has been no agricultural activity for at least 10 years preceding to the date of application for permission, shall only be reclassified or reclassified comes transferred for intended non-agricultural purposes with the prior approval of the deputy commissioner. My lord, the land is agricultural land and fit for agriculture. Nowhere it is stated that it is unfit for agriculture. And that land is surrounded by the locality of other agricultural lands, my lord. How he could, my lord, for his, my lord, he is an influential person, my lord, businessman. Under his influence, my lord, the PCB issued consent to establish thereafter consent to, my lord, we have represented to all concerned, deputy commissioner, PCB, forest department, DIC, even to the minister also, my lord. But under his influence, the PCB issued consent to establish and thereafter consent to operate without NOC, without giving us opportunity of hearing. We are the adjacent lands, my lord. We have agricultural land. It is not my personal interest. It is the interest of common people, my lord. Lordship may kindly look into the matter. My lord, I have annexed, my lord, in my IA application, Lordship may kindly look into, this is the photograph, my lord.
Which is the IA?
The photograph cannot speak lie, my lord. Annex R 2, page 14 of my IA application, my lord. That is against the stay of consent to operate, my lord. For setting aside and cost, my lord. Annex R 2, page 14, my lord. My lord, these are the localities are agricultural land, my lord. And few kilometers away, it is the residence of
NOC is to be given by whom? District administration.
Yes, my lord.
Under which provision?
My lord, as per Assam brick clean establishment and regulation rule, my lord, I have annexed, my lord. Annex are, my lord. Yes, my lord. Annex are O, page 44 of my writ petition, my lord. Annex are O, page 44.
Writ petition number 4917.
My lord.
Writ petition number 4917.
Yes. My application. Item 10. 44, my lord. It is 45, my lord. Rule 3. Rule 3. Rule 2 is the aerial distance. That is also under objection, my lord. I will submit my lord citation in this regard. My lord, rule 3, page 45. The brick kiln shall be allowed only on such land which is certified as non-agricultural land by the concerned circle officer of Revenue Department of the government. The number 2, for establishment of a new brick kiln, public hearing shall be conducted in the Gaon Panchayat, in the concerned Gaon Panchayat for assessing the accessibility of the unit by local people, and without no objection from Gaon Panchayat, no new brick kiln shall be allowed. My lord, if they have obtained some certificate that are from the interested persons, my lord, we were not heard. And moreover, my lord, annexer N, my lord, that is guideline of PCB. Annexer A and page 42. This is the guideline of PCB, my lord. The
Yes.
Pollution Control Board Assam has been processing in the NOC consent to establish proposals concerning to setting up a brick kiln based on documents listed NOC from local body. Non-agricultural land certificate from the district administration. My lord, that has not been, that requirements has not been fulfilled, my lord. My lord, direction may be given to the concerned authority for reassessment, my lord. To ascertain actually whether the locality of the lands are agricultural lands or not. Then the fact will come into light, my lord. In the midst of villages, my lord, in the midst of agricultural lands, he proposed to set up his industry, my lord. We are seriously affected, my lord. And regarding, my lord, aerial distance.
And who are the petitioners?
My lord, petitioners here, my lord, because they and four others, my lord, they are constituted a group, my lord, and my lord, there are so many signatures of the villagers, my lord. In my I application also, lordship will find not less than 51 person. My affected villagers, they have submitted representations in my IAS.
All right. That's all. Anything more you want to say? All right.
Lordship, in item number 11, regarding the non-agricultural certificate, annexure B, it is annexed in the affidavit in opposition, Your Lordship, in item 11, page 11. Page 11, item, this one, item 11, page 11, annexure B. It is being issued by the Assistant Settlement Officer, Hailakandi, Lala Revenue Circle, Your Lordship. And also,
No,
Your
just a
Lordship,
minute. You are referring to affidavit filed in which item?
item 11, WPC 2791 of 2019. 19 of 2019.
Yes.
They can get-
Yes, item 11.
Yes, Your Lordship. Annexure B. This is a non-agricultural certificate issued by the Assistant Settlement Officer, Lala Circle, Hailakandi, Lordship. Certified that land measuring an area of such and such covered by DAG numbers 517 and 218 against second RS periodic patta numbers such and such, Moja Rajeshwarpur, Part 1 Pargona, Hailakandi, in the district of Hailakandi, is under possession of Subir Modak, son of Raman Chandra Modak, and of the same Moza and Pargona by right of purchase. The above mentioned land in question is not presently being utilized for agricultural purpose. So reclassification of the same land will be done as wasteland, /vita land, /bari, etc. in due course of third resettlement operation as per procedure as reported by the LR staff dated 06/08/2018 and valid for the purpose of establishment of brick kiln only. So this is the non-agricultural certificate, Your Lordship. Also regarding the no objection certificate, the Gaon Panchayat has issued one no objection certificate. This is page 13, annexure D. This is issued by the Secretary of the Gaon Panchayat, Lordship. This is to certify that Shri Subir Modak, son of Shri Raman Chandra Modak of Lala Town Ward number 4, PO Lala, such and such, wants to set up a brick industry at Rajeshwarpur Part 1 under his own land, bearing patta number 16, 139 and DAG number 517218 under Moza such and such. This office has no objection regarding setup of the said industry in the name and style of A1 Bricks Industries. This is the, this is as per this certificate, it is the private land of the private respondent as stated. Also, your lordship, there is a representation submitted to the DC by the locals, I suppose. There are the signatures. The vernacular is also annexed. Page annexure E, page 15 and page 16, your lordship. Page 15. This is to the Deputy Commissioner. Subject on installation of brick manufacturing industry. There will be employment of the unemployed villagers, and as such, there is no any objection of the villagers for establishment of brick lane at village Rajeshwarpur Part 1. So, your lordship, we, the following signatories are the residents of village such and such. Due to frequent flood havoc, the agriculture income of the villagers have greatly retarded, resulting decrease of annual income of the villagers. As there is no source of earning, public employment, the villagers are passing days with financial hardship. With a view to employment and earning of the local unemployed youths, the prominent persons of the locality requested Sri Subir Modak, a local businessman, to establish a brick lane manufacturing industry at village such and such. Considering the aforesaid facts and as per request of the prominent persons of the locality, Mr. Modak agreed to establish a brick industry. Therefore, we pray before your honor that if permission for establishment of the brick lane is accorded by the government, the unemployment problem as stated above may somehow resolve and financial condition of the local people will be improved. So as such, we have no any objection for establishment of the said brick industry. So there are the signatures, your lordship, in page 17. The consent to establish is also annexed, your lordship, page 7.
পঞ্চায়তৰ সেইটো বোলে আফটাৰ ৰিটায়াৰমেণ্ট ইনকম চাৰ্টিফিকেট দিছে।
Yes.
My lord, one thing I would like to point out, my friend stated about Annexure A regarding non-agricultural certificate issued by ASO.
Annexure B.
Annexure A in my petition. I have annexed.
You make your reply after they finish.
No, my lord, our affidavit as per, I would like to reply. My lord, she stated that Annexure A that was issued by Resident Settlement Officer. That is also I have annexed. The above mentioned land in question is not presently being utilized for agricultural purpose. So reclassification of the same will be done as was on. But she failed to mention RTI reply, my lord, where as the same Assistant Settlement Officer, Annexure A is page 2 stated that all lands are found agricultural land. My lord, nowhere they could show that the land is reclassified as non-agricultural land by the Deputy Commissioner.
I'm not a party in item number 10, so I don't.
Whatever
I don't
may
know
be,
what
subject matter the
documents are
same.
annexed, your lordship.
The same certificate she has annexed. She cited this same certificate, my lord.
You are appearing for whom?
Item 11, I'm for Revenue Department, but this affidavit was filed by the additional Deputy Commissioner. Your lordship, I have filed.
Now the basic question is whether the land has been reclassified as non-agricultural land. And my lord, in this, my lord.
Let them make their response, then we'll give you a reply. Yes. Yes.
I am relying the affidavit that's already stated also by the additional. Otherwise, no Subir Modaki here. So I think he might be hard.
Where is Madhav? Acha. Is Mr. Ghosh?
Yes. He represents Subir.
Yeah, let us see what he has to say.
My lord, first of all, whether this writ petition is maintainable or not, because neither the petitioner nor any other complainant within the inhabitants of this locality. And she himself stated that for the interest of the public, she filed this petition. So it ought to have been a PIL, not the writ petition.
That is not the
Num-
question.
Number two, my lord, as per procedure established under the rules in the and guidelines, I have applied the establishments for bricklaying that was accorded by the authority, and consent to operate was also accorded by the authority as per rule by following all the procedure established in the said act. Apart from that, the rule which has been relied at page 41, this was not till date, it was not gazetted. It is under the process, and it is a draft, my lord. It is a draft. That authority, Pollution Control Board, who has issued this this Assam Brick Clean Establishment and Regulation Rule 2013. This is not yet been finalized. And it was the author.
In fact, this is a guideline that the board has founded only for the smooth functioning and giving permissions to the brick lane. And this was during the tenure of Chairman R.M. Dubey. So this is a guideline. And after that, the Ministry of Environment and Forest has come up with a strict government.
Let him finish, then you say.
Yes.
Yes.
And in my reply, my lord, in item number 11, it was filed in 2019. In 2019, when it was filed, in that application, there was a complainant, series of complainant. One writ petitioner has filed this writ petition. In second writ petition, my lord, the complainant of that complaint, kindly see the IA of 4917. Item 10. Page 18. IA 171 of 23. Lordship got it. This serial number 3, Abdul Wahed Lashkar. Lordship got it. Then Sumitra De. Then Shahidul Alam so and so. These are the writ petitioner in item number 11. And regarding next page, this complaint which has been relied by the item number 10, it is the writ petition in item number 11.
All right. These are cosmetic things. Substantively,
is the
there are 3 points here. They are saying that the brick lane has been established over agricultural land without reclassifying the land.
Yes.
Then no NOC was taken from the Gaon Panchayat.
Yes.
And being a highly pollutant industry, the people in the neighborhood have been heard who have not been heard.
Yes.
So the response, as I can see, is number one is you are relying upon that settlement officer's certificate, which says it will be done, but it declares that this is not fit for agricultural land. This has been taken note of. Secondly, there is a secretary of the Gaon Panchayat has given a NOC.
NOC.
That was taken note of. And thirdly, there are people divided. Another group says it will generate employment.
Yes.
But the fact remains that according to you, consent to establish was taken before setting up the brick lane, and it is now operating on the basis of consent to operate. And the additional deputy commissioner files affidavits practically denying the assertions and allegations brought in
by the writ
petitioner.
Yes.
That is the point.
That is, and what next, that whether these writ petitioners are within this locality or not.
My lord, regarding aerial distance also may kindly be looked into. Aerial distance, my lord.
Why don't you wait for your turn?
That is the main point, whether they are actually they are the inhabitant of that area or locality.
That you are disputing.
Yes.
How you have filed any affidavit, anything?
In item 11, we have filed that we have disputed, and now the item number 11, The writ petitioner has not denied that here is the locality of that area.
And what about item 10?
Item 10, only in last occasion, this honorable court passed order that affidavit of the item 11 shall be treated as a part of the affidavit of this.
So let us see where is the denial? In item 11. Item 11 is phone is
2191.
2791.
2791, yes.
Where have you disputed it, denied it? Which paragraph? Where is the statement, Mr. Ghosh? You're going to read the whole thing now, huh?
No, in the writ petition, there is no awardment.
Then why have you made a submission?
In the writ petition also, there is also no awardment.
All right, anything else?
Much.
Yes, Pollution Control Board.
No, our role is very limited. Only after that statutory authorities and the government give that no non-agricultural land certificate and also the no objection certificate from the local people. After all the documents are being collected, they approach us and finally we give the consent to establish. And after the completion of the project, the consent to operate is granted from year to year. And the last consent to operate is valid, which has been granted on 3rd of January 2023. So this was valid only for a limited period of 31st March till 31st March, and 31st March is expired.
31st March of
This year.
2023.
23. And while giving that consent to establish, they have been asked to reapply within 90 days, prior to 90 days of the expiry. And after that, it will be given to 5 years, provided all the terms and conditions set in the consent to establish is complied with. And that apart, all the while the petitioner has been harping upon the rule. There is no such rule as such. No rule has been, it is only a draft guideline which has been made by the Pollution Control Board for just helping out all the field officials so that these parameters are being obeyed. And before establishing of a brick clean, public hearing has to be done, and that has been duly done with the assistance of the Gaon Panchayat, where all the public are being present, all the opinions has been taken. Finally, that public hearing is a mandatory requirement, and that mandatory requirement has been done. And that apart, rest they have to the manufacturer has to abide by the conditions that has been set in the consent.
So now the consent to operate is valid till when?
It is already expired.
So now how is
It is expired. After that, I don't know whether they have reapplied or not. But
After that, we have reapplied. Now the season is not there.
This is not-
This is not operating because monsoon season will start. It will start from October. So I have already applied. Because it is changing every year, it is to be done.
All right, so what we can do is we can ask them to submit a representation before the board, which should be taken into account before the renewal of the consent to operate.
Yes.
By confirming as to whether the petitioner fulfills all the pollution control norms as provided by which is the act here? Air Pollution Control Act.
Yes, section 21, under section 21 of the Air Act, the consent to operate is being granted. And that apart, we are being
Where is the
guided.
act? Can you give me Air Pollution Control Act?
Air prevention and control. That apart, we are being guided by the guidelines, and subsequently, recently in February 2022, this Government of India notification has come in, whereby new technology has been imposed, a zigzag technology, whereby the pollution level, the emission level is being reduced. So these are the parameters that has to be followed by any brick lane that comes up. And the distance, minimum distance and everything has been classified. So if at all a strict compliance of this guideline is to be taken, I am afraid there will be a very limited number of brick lanes from now on.
All right. So that's the order.
Yes.
You can file a fresh representation before the PCB, which will be considered before issuing renewal of the consent to operate.
My
That's
lord, Deputy Commissioner also, my lord, as regards
Hmm.
reclassification of the land.
all right. Heard Ms. B. Devi, Learned Counsel appearing for the writ petitioner in item 10. Also heard Mr. Also heard Mr. An Islam, is it? An Islam, Learned Counsel appearing for the writ petitioners in item 11. Give the case number. Huh? In first one, only one writ petition. Mr. CKS Borua, Learned Government Advocate, has appeared for the
4, 5, 7 and 9.
respondent numbers
4, 5, 7 and 8.
4, 5, 7 and 8 in item
10.
10. And Miss N. Bordoloi, Learned Standing Council Revenue Department, Assam, for respondent numbers
Number 2 and 4, your lordship, as
2 and 4 in item 11.
11.
Full stop. Mr. S. Barua, Learned SC PCB, is present on behalf of
3 and 6 in item number 10.
respondent numbers 3 and 6 in item 10, and in item 11 you are not there.
No, I'm not.
Pollution Control Board is not a party here.
No, I'm not. Asan 11. But I have. Yes, member secretary is there, 3, but I'm not handled with the petition copy.
And on behalf of respondent number 3 in item 11, Mr. S. Ghosh, Learned Counsel, is present on behalf of the private respondent number 7 in both the writ petition. Full stop.
In my case, he is private respondent number 9. And item number 11, he is private respondent number
Private
7.
respondent in both the cases. Full stop. The sole petitioner in item 10 and the
Absolutely.
Huh?
Absolutely.
Item number
The
10, because they,
petitioners in both these writ petitions are basically aggrieved by the consent to establish as well as the consent to operate issued by the Pollution Control Board, permitting the private respondent to set up a brick kiln over his private patta land situated in village Rajveshwarpur, part 1. P.S. Lala, Borbond, BORBOND, in the district of Hailakandi. Inter alia contending that the brick kiln has been set up over agricultural land, without converting the land and also without obtaining the NOC from the villagers. Full stop. Ms. B. Devi, Learned Counsel for the petitioners, has argued that the land over which the brick kiln has been set up is an agricultural land. Therefore, under the relevant rules, no brick kiln could have been permitted to be established over the said plot of land. Full stop. It is also the submission of Learned Counsel for the petitioner that the district administration is yet to reclassify the land as non-agricultural land. And therefore, in view of the provisions contained in sections 3 and 4 of the Assam Agricultural Land Regulation of Reclassification and Transfer for Non-Agricultural Purpose Act, 2015, no brick kiln could have been established over the said plot of land. Full stop. Referring to the photographs brought on record by filing IA number 171 of 2000,
171.
arising out of WPC number 17/2022. The petitioner's counsel has argued that her clients are only, has argued that the land over which the brick lane has been set up is flanked, KED, flanked by agricultural land from all the sides. And therefore, it is evident on the face of the record that the brick lane is situated over agricultural land. First up, contending that brick lane being a heavily polluting industry, if the same is allowed to operate, it would cause serious health hazard to the petitioners and their family members. Besides the resident, besides the other residents of the village. First up, the learned counsel for the petitioner has therefore prayed for an order from this court to set aside the consent to establish and operate the brick lane issued by the Pollution Control Board, with a direction upon the district administration to revisit the matter and take appropriate decision in respect thereof. First up, Mr. Islam, learned counsel for the writ petitioners, in item 11 has adopted the submissions advanced by Ms. B. Devi and has also made a similar prayer for setting aside the consent to establish as well as the consent to operate granted by the Pollution Control Board. First up, the learned state council have taken the has taken the court through the counter affidavit filed by the respondent number 4, that is the additional deputy commissioner Hailakandi, in item 11 to contend that the allegations made in the writ petitions have been found to be factually incorrect. First up, Ms. Bordoloi, Learned Standing Council, Revenue Department, Assam, has also invited the attention of this court to the NOC issued by the Assistant Settlement Officer.
That is non-agricultural certificate issued by
The non-agricultural certificate issued by the, this is in page number?
Page 11, your lordship.
Page 11 of the counter affidavit. Is it?
Yes, your lordship. Annexure B.
Issued by the
Writ petition 2791. 79. Page 11.
Non-agricultural land certificate dated 6/8/2018. No, not 6/8. Dated 6/8/2018.
That is also I have annexed in my writ petition.
Issued by the Assistant Settlement Officer, Lala Circle, Hailakandi, as well as the NOC issued by the
Secretary
of the
Purbo Kitar Bond, Rajeshwar Pur Gaon Panchayat. Page 13. your lordship.
Secretary of the
PK Rajesh.
PK Rajeshwarpur Gaon Panchayat, conveying there no within courts no objection regarding setting up the brick lane by the petitioner, to contend that necessary formalities as prescribed by law has been complied with before issuing the consent to operate as well as the consent to establish as well as the consent to operate the brick lane. These two will be in courts, consent to establish and consent. Mr. Barua, Learned Standing Council Pollution Control Board, has argued that over and above the aforesaid formalities, a public hearing was also conducted through the local Gaon Panchayat, wherein the members of the village the residents of the village have conveyed their unequivocal consent oblique NOC for establishing the brick lane. By referring to the
Partial page 15, the locals have written to the DC. That may be mentioned.
in
here.
support of his above argument, Mr. Barua has also invited the attention of this court to the communication dated
This is 16th
16/8/2018 issued by the villagers of PK Rajeshwar for Part 1 village addressed to the Deputy Commissioner Hailakandi, wherein they have mentioned that setting up of the brick lane will generate employment in the village, and therefore the said decision was welcomed by the villagers. Full stop. By referring to the where is the guideline?
Guideline.
Consent to establish a date is 22/10/2018. Yes, right. CB date. Where is the guideline?
Consent to establish, that is page 7 in that affidavit, Your Worship.
Where is the
This is
guideline?
Guideline annex and page 42 on my writ petition.
Item 10, page 42.
Yes. Item 10 is 2791, is it?
Item 10 is
4917.
4917. You are in which case?
Item number 10. 4917,
4917.
page 42.
Referring to the Assam Brick Cleans Establishment and Regulation Rules 2013 relied upon.
Annex N, my lord, guideline is Annex
Okay.
N, page
Okay.
42.
Okay. Referring to the guidelines issued by the Pollution Control Board dated 2012 bracket annexure capital N to the writ petition being WPC number 4917 of 2022. Mr. Barua has argued that these are not rules and have never been notified, but are merely in the nature of guidelines issued by the PCV so as to help the officials exercise their discretion in when it comes to question of issuing consent to establish and oblige or consent to operate of brick lane. Full stop. Next, Mr. S. Ghosh, Learned Counsel appearing for the private respondent, has forcefully argued that the writ petitioners are not the residents of the locality over which the brick lane has been established, but having vested interest in the matter, they have approached this court by filing the instant writ petition. First up, Mr. Ghosh has submitted that there is not a single statement in the writ petition.
No, in my affidavit, I have denied that with regard to statement made in paragraph 2 of the. writ petition,
Mr.
that-
Ghosh has argued that since the petitioners are not affected by the brick lane, and considering the fact that the present writ petitions are not in the nature of public interest litigation, the same are not maintainable in the eye of law. First step. To sum up his argument, Mr. Ghosh has referred to the counter affidavit filed by his client in item 11
Paragraph 5.
to submit that all formalities as prescribed by law have been complied with in this case before the petitioner was issued consent to establish and oblique or consent to operate the brick kiln. Full stop. I have considered the submissions made at the bar and have also carefully gone through the materials available on record. Full stop. The first objection raised by the petitioner's counsel is on account of the fact that the brick kiln has been allegedly established over agricultural land. There can be no doubt or dispute about the fact that in view of the provisions of the Act of 2015, sections 3 and 4 of the Act of 2015, as well as the provisions of the Assam Brick Kiln, as well as Rule 3 of the Assam Brick Kiln Establishment and Regulation Rules, 2013. A brick kiln cannot be established over agricultural land. First up. However, the fact remains that there is a certificate issued by the Assistant Settlement Officer certifying that the land over which the brick kiln of the respondent number 9 is to be established can no longer be considered as agricultural land. Full stop. The exercise of re-notifying the land as non-agricultural land was, however, pending for the reasons mentioned in the said certificate. Full stop. Therefore, it cannot be said that the brick kiln of the petitioner was permitted to be established on a plot of agricultural land. Full stop. Coming to the next objection raised by the petitioner's counsel to the effect that NOC from the villagers were not obtained before issuing the consent to establish in this case. The said allegation is also found to be incorrect based on the materials available on record. First up, as has been mentioned herein above, I find that there is a NOC obtained from the Secretary of the Gaon Panchayat on 6/8/2018, and the said document has been taken into account by the PCB while issuing the consent to establish public operate. Full stop. Moreover, the assertion of the Learned Standing Council PCB that the public hearing was duly conducted in this case also could not be denied by the Learned Council for the petitioners. Full stop. It would further be pertinent to mention here in that by filing affidavit dated
Item 11, Your Lordship.
10/9/2019 in WPC number 2791 of 2019, the respondent number 4 has categorically stated that the other allegations made by the petitioner, that the allegations made by the petitioners are incorrect. The averments made in paragraphs 4 and 5 of the said affidavit are relevant and therefore are being reproduced herein below for ready reference. Full stop. I also find from the counter affidavit filed by the respondent number 8 that on being asked to appear before the office of the respondent number 4 for clarification, he had failed to appear, as a result of which the clarification on the queries made by the petitioner under the RTI petition also could not be obtained. Be that as it may, the fact remains that a consent to establish and operate a brick kiln can be issued by the PCB only after the applicant fulfills the requirement of the provisions of the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981, and more particularly Section 21 of the Act, First up, at any stage, if it is found that the industry, that the brick kiln does not fulfill the requirement of the act as well as the rules framed thereunder, the consent to operate can be withdrawn by the PCB. First up, Mr. Borua has also invited the attention of this court to the notification dated 22/2/2022 issued by the Government of India in the Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change, laying down new guidelines pertaining to zigzag ZIG-ZAG technology or vertical shaft or use of piped natural gas as fuel in brick making. And therefore, he submits that the aforesaid guidelines will also have relevance in the matter of renewal of consent to operate, full stop. Having regard to the facts and circumstances of the case, as noticed here and above, this court does not find any valid basis to arrive at a conclusion that the consent to establish and consent to operate of the brick kiln of the private respondent in this case was issued by the state PCB without following the prescribed procedure of law. Full stop. Having held as above, it has been brought to the notice of this court that the consent to operate issued to the petitioner, issued to the private respondent, had expired on 31/3/2023, and since it is lean season, the application for renewal of consent to operate will be considered only in the month of October 2023. Full stop. If that be so, there cannot be any doubt about the fact that while renewing the consent to operate, the authorities in the state PCB will have to verify and record a satisfaction that the petitioner's brick kiln fulfills all requirements of pollution standards as may be prescribed under the law. Full stop. In doing so, it may also be pertinent for the state PCB to consider objection, if any, filed by the villagers who could have a genuine grievance regarding air pollution in the matter. Full stop. As such, this writ petition is being disposed of by providing that the petitioners shall be at liberty to submit representation before the State Pollution Control Board, opposing prayer, if any, opposing application, if any, submitted by the respondent, private respondent for renewal of the consent to operate. If such objection is filed within 10 days from today, along with a certified copy of this order, then upon proper verification of the bona fide of such application and the locus of the petitioners to raise such objection, the state PCB may examine the same and take into account objections that are found to be relevant and valid in the eyes of law before processing the application for renewal of consent to operate the brick kiln by the private respondent is issued. First up, parties to bear their own cost, and in view of the order passed, IS stands. Yes.
Regarding reclassification of non-agricultural land, that may kindly be.
That has been rejected. I don't want to make it more specific. If you want, I can give reasons, but that has not been found to be very valid. Already the settlement officer says this is not agricultural land.
Yes.
Yes.
May it please, your lordship.
Yes, please.
I think that there is a non-payment of contractor's bill, my lord. My learned friend has admitted the amount by filing affidavit. So matter may be
Affidavit, my
disposed
lord, for the rest of the amount, we have already communicated with the finance department, but they have not
Implemented finance as a party in this matter, my lord.
You have to implement finance. Finance is a necessary party, otherwise how can you get money?
We have
Finance
already-
and money are the same thing, is it not? You implement the finance, otherwise the order will be taking long time. On the request of Miss
Yes, Kakoti.
S. Kakuti, and counsel attorney for the petitioner, this matter stands adjourned for 2 weeks so as to enable her to file. No, you write like this. Ms. S. Kakuti, learned counsel for the petitioner, also heard Ms. M.N. Kotoki, learned standing counsel,
For animal husbandry and
Animal-
veterinary department.
Animal Husbandry and Veterinary Department, Assam, appearing for the official respondents. This writ petition has been filed with a prayer to direct the respondents to pay the contractual dues of the petitioner. However, I find that the Finance Department of the Government of Assam is not a party in this writ petition. Considering the nature of relief sought, the Finance Department is a necessary party to this proceeding. As such, the Commissioner and Secretary to the Government of Assam, Department of Finance, Dispur, is hereby included as respond number 7. Petitioner to file a corrected cost title in the writ petition. Let the matter be listed again after the amended cost title, not corrected. Amended cost title is filed by the petitioner by reflecting the name of learned SC Finance in the cause list.
Okay.
Obliged.
Well, the subject matter of the railway officer who is disqualified to be an arbitrator can appoint up members of the arbitral tribunal. Well, this matter was decided by the Supreme Court in 2017 that he has no authority. But subsequently, my lord, Judge Bench, my lord, held that that can be done, my lord, so far GCC is concerned, my lord. Later on, my 2-3 judges bench, my lord, found that that order was doubted, my lord, and referred to a larger bench. And larger bench, my lord, 5 judges, my lord, that's they sit it, my lord. Your lordship should see, my lord, the order passed on 12/7. That central government has said that they are amending the law itself. My lord, this is the order, my lord.
So we have to adjourn it.
My lord, we have to, my lord, that last part of September, your lordship may fix it, my lord.
Also, there's 2 months time and there is a stay order running, but there is no stay order passed by the Honorable Supreme Court.
Yes, my lord, yes, stay.
As regards to the pending cases, Lordship.
My lord,
If I'm not mistaken.
Even award has been stayed, my lord. Supreme Court, in one of the matter, I can place, my lord.
So
Anyway, Lordship, let it be in the first week of September because this matter was referred to arbitration at his own request.
Heard Mr. G. N. Sahiwala and Senior Counsel assisted by Mr. M. Sahiwala and Counsel appearing for the writ petitioner. Also heard Mr. B. Chakravarti and CGC appearing for the respondent. It is submitted at the bar that the core controversy involved in this writ petition is sub judice before the full bench, before the Constitution bench of the Supreme Court, and the government is also examining the relevant provisions of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996 so as to address the issue. As such, a prayer has been made at the bar to list this case again in the second.
After 13 September, because matter is.
27th of September, my lord.
Lordship, that's.
After 13th of September 2023, awaiting further order of the Honorable Supreme Court. In view of the above, registry to list this matter again in the 3rd week of September.
My lord, interim order passed.
Interim order passed earlier to continue.
Item 15.
Lordship, yesterday we have filed affidavit, Lordship. Affidavit filed on behalf of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Central Government, Lordship.
You have received copy of the affidavit.
Yesterday we have received the copy.
What do you have to say?
Lordship, password for the time being, as Mrs. R. Chaudhary is.
You don't want to file rejoinder. Have you admitted her claim?
No, Lordship.
You don't want to file rejoinder.
Even Lordship, that,
Huh?
Then time may be given for.
even Lordship,
filing.
that particular issue was pending before the Honorable Apex Court, Lordship.
So then you obtain instruction, heard Miss
That's right.
S. Roy Learned Counsel for the writ petitioner. Also heard Mr. K. Gogoi Learned CGC, who submits that counter affidavit on behalf of the respondent number
Respondent number lordship. 2 and
1 and 2
1 and 2 lordship, 1 and 2.
has been filed yesterday by
No.
serving advance copy upon the petitioner's counsel, but the same is not on record. Ms. D. Bora Learned SC, Health and Family Welfare Department, Assam is present on behalf of the respondent number 3. Ms. Roy submits that 10 days time be granted for obtaining instruction and filing rejoinder affidavit if so required. In view of the above, register to list the matter again after 2 weeks by tagging the counter affidavit as well as rejoinder affidavit, bracket if any, bracket close, filed by the writ petitioner in the matter.
Date may be fixed,
Huh?
date may be given.
After 2 weeks.
For orders item 17.
Yes.
Made please, your lordship. So in this case, we have challenged the impugned order by way of which my financial bill that I submitted pursuant to the bidding process was cancelled or was declared to be non-as without citing any reason.
Bidding will be bench for matter.
Bench full.
But why it has been listed for orders today? No affidavit has been received.
No claim, my lord. In the meantime, my lord, what had happened, my lord, he has not served a copy. There is an order, last order, my lord. He has
No, I have
served it.
served
In the
copies, your
meantime, he
lordship.
has served a copy, my lord. I have sent it, my lord. But today, while inquiring about it, my lord, the tender is of March 2022. And in the portal, my lord, when it crossed three months, automatically the tender goes to an archive. Then you have to search it and find it out whether tender has already been completed or not. That's why it's taking time, my lord. Lordship will fix it after 2 weeks. In the meantime, I will get the instruction.
Mr. Swanson, counsel for the writ petitioner is present. Ms. Lotkul, counsel for the petitioner is present. Mr. D. Bora,
Yes, Bora.
standing counsel.
SSA, lord.
SMC.
SSA, my lord.
SSC.
Yes, sir.
SSA.
SSA. So 6 are with me.
Appearing for the official respondent submits that due to non-furnishing of extra copies of writ petition, he could not file affidavit. Therefore, 2 weeks further time be
He
granted.
had
I have already
subsequently
filed, your
had.
lordship. I have already
Subsequently
given.
Delayed furnishing of extra copies of the writ petition, affidavit could not be brought on record. Therefore, 2 weeks time has been prayed for. Register to verify whether this matter pertains to civil bench 4/5 and thereafter list the matter before the appropriate court after 2 weeks.
Item 18.
I have not pressed the application.
All right, Mr. U.S. Borgohain, and counsel for the petitioner submits that he has instructions from his client not to press this writ petition. As such, the writ petition be disposed of as not pressed. Ms. M. Kalita, learned standing counsel,
Excise Department, your lordship.
Excise Department, Assam, Ms. P. Bora for respondent number,
5.
and Ms. S. Sharma for respondent number. Respondent number 2. Are present and do not have any objection. In view of the above, this writ petition stands disposed of as not pressed.
Made please, your lordship. My lord, pursuant to an order of this honorable court, my lord, to take steps on the respondent number 2. We took steps on the respondent number 2 and the matter was posted before the learned Lawazima court, my lord. And in the Lawazima court, if your lordship may kindly take up order dated 2/6/2023, my lord. There, my lord, one of the observations of the learned Lawazima court, my lord, it says that it appears from the aforesaid notice that were returned unserved from both the addresses with postal remark addressee moved and office has been locked since many days. And then, my lord, however, the learned counsel for the petitioner submits that the respondent number 2, Hindustan Paper Corporation Limited, in the instant petition has been taken over by the government of Assam under its corporation, that is respondent number 5, Assam Industrial Development Corporation. In view of the above, the matter may be placed before the honorable court, my lord. Now, my lord, this respondent, my lord, we have tried, this office is closed, my lord, because it was under liquidation process. And now, my lord,
Who is for the AIDC?
I am on behalf of the J.K. Goswami Lordship, AIDC.
You will accept notice for respondent number 2?
No, I, Lordship, in this regard, we don't have any instruction.
Where is Mr. Goswami?
Lordship, he is also out of station, Lordship.
All right, heard Mr. H. Buragohil and counsel for the writ petitioner peruse the of Lojima Court order dated 02/06/2023. In view of the observations made in the order dated 2/6/2023, the learned standing council AIDC to obtain instruction and appraise this court as to whether he is willing to accept notice in this case on behalf of respondent number 2. Let the matter be listed again after 3 weeks.
I am deeply obliged.
Lordship, this is a contempt petition.
Yes, A deca, multiple respondents, contempt, 8 weeks, yes.
Pleasure.
I think 21 and 22.
21 you want time? You want time in 21? Why it is connected with 22?
Lordship, as the petitioner, respective counsel in item number 21 submitted before this court that it was a similar matter, but in fact, it is not a similar matter, Lordship. In item 22, I am now serving as process server and I am claiming for the post of LDA promotion, whereas my learned friend claiming press recruitment.
Yes, sir.
For the post of. Actually, you are in item 21.
Yes, sir.
On the request of Mr.
SD Roy.
Huh?
SD Roy.
SD Royal and counsel appearing for the applicant. Let this matter be listed along with the connected writ petition being WPC number 1344/2023. Again, after 10 days.
Yes.
By segregating the same from WPC number 745/2023, which is stated to be a different matter.
Lordship, in item number 22, as per Lojima Court's order 10/6, I have to take a step upon private response.
Item number 22.
So I may be allowed to take this step.
Yes, this it will. On the prayer of Mr. I. Hassan, learned counsel appearing for the writ petitioner. Petitioner is permitted a week's time to take fresh steps for service of notice upon respond numbers
6 and 7.
6 and 7 by registered force with AD. Mr. H.K. Das, learned standing counsel.
Item 21, my lord. I am
22, 22.
22, I am on.
Acha.
A Burwa.
Mr. A. Burwa, learned standing counsel.
On behalf of Mr. T.J. Wonder, standing counsel GSC.
Standing counsel GHC is present on behalf of the other respondents. Let the matter be listed along with service report on respond number 6 and 7.
Obliged, Lordship.
Deeply. Yeah, I have to take steps, my lord, on or my lord, respondent number 3, my lord, extra copies.
Extra copies.
Extra.
Not only, there are 4 respondents.
You are not concerned about the others. You are only concerned about respondent number 2. 3.
So you furnish extra copies.
Yes, today by.
Mr. N.J. Datta, learned counsel for the petitioner submits that extra copies of the writ petition will be furnished to the learned standing counsel, handloom and textile department Assam on behalf of the respondent number 3 during the course of the day. What about the other respondents?
Other respondent 1 and 2, my lord, Union of India. My lord, they have received, my lord, the signature is there. And 3,
The other respondents are represented by the Union of India.
1 and 2, my lord. 4 I have taken already registered.
The other respondents, that is respond numbers 1 and 2 are represented by the Union of India. Service report on respond number 4
Is awaited.
is awaited. Registry to list the matter again after 3 weeks with appropriate office note.
I am always.
So what happened to your matter?
Still in the process of the registry, we'll take it in usual course, that's all I can say. It'll come in the usual course and we'll wait for that with no other option. Because it's still in the registry.
What did you say?
I said it has to come on a usual course, Your Lordship, because it's still with the registry, they're processing it, I do not know for whatever reasons.
Monday I can get it listed if you want.
Can it be on Wednesday, Your Lordship, if it is not?
Wednesday?
If it is not
Yes,
inconvenience,
yes.
I'll be extremely grateful if it is
You
Wednesday.
just give a memo to her.
I'll just give it to her, I'll just
You
give it.
can have it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever you want.
Tuesday is also. the next
Tuesday
one.
you want it.
Yes,
Get it?
I'm extremely grateful.
Have it on the list. Tuesday.
Unextremely great.